Edinburgh's just like a habit. I've come here in the last 12 years, so is it great to be in Edinburgh? It's just good to be back. I love it. I love the festival and the insanity of it all.
Well, I mean, you've kind of done a couple of different shows here. So do you find like you get this cult audience who kind of follow on?
I've no idea. You've no idea who the audience are, really. I mean, to an extent, you meet some people from it, but there's just, you can't focus on all those faces, so and I definitely can't remember them. So I've no idea who turned up.
You don't, you can't remember. Yeah. It's kind of thing. I heard you took it to Australia.
Yeah, Melbourne.
So how did it go down?
It was my last year's show, and it was sort of a little bit intimidating. It began with attention scum, you are nothing, absolutely nothing. They sort of went back in their seats. And either you find it, maybe it's a big city thing. Like, you might find that funny, someone abusing you from the stage, but they didn't particularly. I camped it up on about the 5th night, and it was all right. Good evening. I am the Church of England. Let me explain. Firstly, my friends, I stand before you tonight not as an example, but a warning. Don't stay up all night taking shitloads of drugs, watching Michael Caine videos. Oh no. Because you might find, come the morning, Michael Caine has one of the most addictive voices known to man. You might find you're unable to stop talking in a certain way. And you might find this voice slightly irritating. But think how I feel. On top of that, don't go start reading the Bible, because then things get really out of hand. I am the Church of England. Let me explain. In 1534, Henry VIII, who was a big man but out of shape, performed the act of supremacy, separating the Church of England from the Church of Rome. Basically, he couldn't get a divorce. He said, right, I'm off, I'm taking my country with me. England, like bloody fools, went along with it. This leaves the thinking Englishman today with a choice. Either we go back to the Church of Rome and beg like dogs. Like bloody dogs! To be let back in. Or we take the ball Henry has thrown to us, run with it, pursue it to its logical conclusion, each become our own church. Well, I for one am willing to become a Catholic, but only if I can be Pope. The Italian job, as I call it now. Thank you very much, Mr. Guy. Are there any Catholics out there tonight? Yeah. Hello. Hello there. Might be join you soon as leader. If you want to take offence, take offence. If you want to build a wall, get some bricks. Dad used to say he was a builder, not a thief. Except garden things, obviously. Now, never a borrower or lender be, he used to say, and the bank sacked him, of course. Now, in the meantime, I've decided to form my own church. What we do in my church is pretend to be Jesus, which makes us different from all the other churches who basically just point at him and go, he was a good bloke. My relationship to Jesus is very similar to the relationship between Bjorn Again and ABBA. I'm a big fan of his, and if I can make a living pretending to be him, so be it. Now, whatever it says in the Bible, the truth remains. You can read the Bible and dismiss it as nonsense if you like. You can dismiss it as nonsense without reading it to save time if you prefer. And that's the route I've chosen. My church slogan's very simple. God is love, you're a twat. Now, life is unfair, most admit when pressed. Even those doing the pressing don't think it's entirely fair. But is life so unfair that we need a lottery as well as a justice system? Oh yes, we need to punish the guilty and reward randomly chosen people. Hello, customer services, how can I seem to help you? If you're given a choice, what would you say? Money! That is why democracy must end. But what should we replace it with? Might I suggest we replace democracy with this? You like it, don't you? It's shiny. But you can't have it, it's mine. And now, a quick reading from the parable of the Cockneys. In the beginning was the Word. Hearing of this, the Cockneys wondered what it might rhyme with and whether it was worth nicking. And God so loved the world, he gave his only son. Hearing of this, the Cockneys called everyone son, because they liked the sound of it, and it made them feel a little bit like God. And God so loved the Cockneys, he gave them Essex to dream of and London to live in. Life was nasty, brutish and short, and so were the Cockneys. They had not much food, would even look in a dustbin for something to eat, and if they found a dead cat, they would eat it, but they did not regard it as a treat, and this raised them above the Scousers. What's black and white and red all over? This is... Oh, sorry, what's green? What are the accusations against me? Wasting your time? I do apologise. In what important activity have I delayed you, friends? Are you building cathedrals on the sly? Are you mid-pilgrimage? No. The only journey you've ever made on your knees was to the bar after 2 pints of shandy. Always like to end on a big laugh. That'll do, thank you.
Otis, delighted